Paso Holocaust Museum and Study Center was founded in 1984 by Holocaust survivor Henry Kellen, who came to El Paso because his wife had a relative here who helped bring them into the city, helped them get back on their feet after the Holocaust. He and his wife actually did not talk about their experience for decades, but with the rise of Holocaust denial in the late 1970s, early 1980s, Henry decided he needed to bring Holocaust education to our region. We started as just a one-room display with artifacts that were his personal artifacts, books, pictures, and then eventually that grew into the first freestanding El Paso Holocaust Museum in 1996. That location burned down in 2001 to an electrical fire, so they opened this building downtown El Paso in 2008. We get this question all the time of why is there a Holocaust museum in El Paso? And of course it's the connection to Holocaust survivors, but it also tells a human story. It is not only a story that affects Jewish lives or survivor lives, but it really is a human story of suffering, of overcoming, of surviving. And so that history really resonates with residents here who have their own history of immigration or of dealing with prejudice. And not to oversimplify either scenario, they need their context, of course, but there is that connection, and there's a human connection to a history that is a horrific history, but one that still resonates for us today.
And that's what's wonderful about teaching the Holocaust, is that there's so many different aspects that you can dissect from the Holocaust, morals, understandings that stem from the Holocaust, that we can learn from it as a human being. So although it seemed like it happened many, many years ago, it is something that we can still dissect and still work through it and work as a humanity to restore and become a better community as a whole through these lessons of the Holocaust. It's really hard for students to, especially at such a young age, to really understand the severity of the Holocaust. And through our Dimensions of Testimony, which is our new exhibit, they're able to talk to a survivor. And it's really wonderful because we presented Edith Maneker, who was a kinder transport survivor. So through the tour, they got an understanding of what kinder transport was. And then they had this moment where they're able to then incorporate these lessons into talking to an actual survivor. And it's so wonderful to hear a different perspective when a child asks a question to a survivor and not an adult, because you really get to see these different questions that are presented. Even though they're so simple, the response it generated was so deep.
Yes, so our museum really is a chronological look at the history of the Holocaust. We start with life before the Holocaust for Jews in Europe, what their lives were like, that they were very much a part of Germany, very assimilated in German culture, and then how all of that changes with the rise of Nazism. And so we talk about how Hitler came into power, how life was radically changed, and then from there, that regression into what becomes known as the Holocaust through the Nuremberg laws, propaganda, the Evian Conference, which was really the green light to the Holocaust, the Kristallnacht, which was a very pivotal moment that really began the Holocaust, into the history of the ghettos, and then the final solution. And then one of our final galleries talks about resistance and rescue, liberation from the Holocaust, and then we end in this room, which is the Holocaust Survivor Gallery, our memorial room.
So we do a lot of outreach in that, of course, it kind of encompasses the educational part, where we go and do outreach to local schools, but we also go to the community as well. Through our programs, we not only we talk about the Holocaust, but without trivializing the Holocaust, we try to incorporate different communities, because each community has its own struggles, and the Holocaust can in fact repeat itself, and we've seen these traits over and over happen throughout history, and it's something that we would like to bring awareness to, whether it be through language or through media awareness. These are things that we would like to hopefully correct so that it's not repeated. And through our educational resources, we try to cover that as best as we can.
You can check out our website, elpasoholocaustmuseum.org. We also are on social media, Facebook and Instagram, where we regularly post about events coming up and different ways to access the museum, our programs as well.
Understanding that we have room to grow and that there's always knowledge. There's always this room to grow in terms of education, that we shouldn't become stagnant as a community of not understanding one another, but also not learning about different religions, different cultures, different ethnicities. There is always room to grow as a human being.